Hello Math 133 students. In this video I'm going to give you some help and advice for Chapter 3, Project 3, the 5-number summary and box plot. So let me click on that, and it's going to tell me to click on a Google document. So I'm going to click on the link, and there's the Google document. Now I made sure that I was in Chrome as my browser, and I'm logged in. You can see in the top right corner I am completely logged in. That's my puppies up there in the circle. So this is my account, and I can tell that I'm in. So make sure that you're logged into your Google account. It will really help. All right, so if you're logged into your Google account, you can click File and Make a Copy. And I would recommend, for the sake of your instructor, that you put your name up here in your file name somewhere. So put your name here at the end maybe, or at the beginning instead of the copy of, whatever you like, but have it up there. It's not that instructors can't see who it is, it just makes things a little easier, and that's always nice for your instructor. All right, here we go. So I'm going to make this a little bigger so you can see what's happening. So we're going to find a publicly available data set on StatCrunch that is interesting to you. Your data set needs to have a quantitative variable with a lot of numbers, variability, and repetition, and so on. Okay, so remember that labels don't count. So here in StatCrunch, I'm logged in. I'm in the top right corner. That's my username. So I go to Data Sets, and you roam around and find something that's interesting to you. Like if you like cars, here's a whole bunch of information about cars from 2019. Remember that you want to look for a data set that's large, right? A pretty good sized data set. And you remember that you want it to have numbers. So you need a column with a lot of numbers. So this would work, right? Also remember that if all else fails, sports tend to work really well. So soccer, baseball's very heavy on statistics. NFL player data, you just want to make sure that you have a good size data set, right? College basketball arenas, right? College football stadiums, all that good stuff. And you can type up here in the keywords section for anything you like. Also, it's totally fine, in my personal opinion, if you want to use the same data set that you already used from the previous projects, that's fine. Which is what I'm going to do, actually. I'm going to use the Major League players elected to the Hall of Fame because I just used it for the previous video. So, all right, so my name, I would go type my name right here. You can make it bold, you can, change it to a different color. Don't make it yellow, don't make it a color that's hard to read, but knock yourself out. All right, what data set did you choose? So you need to paste the URL. So the URL is the web address, which is up here in this top bar up here. So you want to highlight this top bar. It's okay if you include that pound sign at the end. That's not a big deal. That just means I've done something in the StatCrunch before. So Control C, or if you're on a Mac, Command C, or you can right click and copy. And I know there's another way too over here somewhere, but I don't remember what it is. So it's fine. So Control C, copy it. And then I'm going to go back to my document. I'm going to Control V or Command V if I'm on a Mac, and press the space bar afterwards. And there we go. I have an active hyperlink. And the pound sign won't hurt anything. I can get rid of it. It's not going to do any damage. All right. Now, treating your data set as if it's a sample, you're going to find the StatCrunch statistics output that includes the 5-number summary, the range, and the IQR. Ooh. So 5-number summary, range, and IQR, there should be 7 numbers. Exactly 7 numbers. Ooh. Okay, so I'm going to use the same data set I used before, which is AB, which stands for at-bats. So I'm going to go to Stat, Summary Stat, and it's the same place we found the mean, median, and mode before. We go to columns because at-bats is one of the columns. So Stat, Summary Stat, columns. I'm going to scroll down to AB, so there we go. And then you have to find the 5-number summary in here, and the range, and the IQR. So that's on you to know what those values are, but you should have only those specific values. And you click on them with the Control Click feature. So I click on range, for example, I scroll down, I can see IQR, I Control Click, hold down Control and then click. On a Mac it's Command and click for the record. And then you keep going, and you're going to get all 7 numbers, whatever those 7 numbers are. Variance is not one of them, by the way. So I just want you to see. So you should get all 7 numbers, and then it'll give you a table, and you'll copy and paste that table into here. Okay? So it should have exactly 7 numbers, no more, no less. I should say includes only the 5-number summary range in IQR. Matter of fact, I will change it so that it says that. Okay, so you'll paste a box in here that has 7 numbers. Next. Oh, and I should have a little paste the output here just so you can know what you're doing. So what is the value of Q2 for your data set? Well, there's a hint. One of the numbers up here should be your Q2. So you're just explaining to me that you know what Q2 is. So that'll be a number. You know, you'll put a number right there. So whatever that might be. So that'll be from your output. Then for part 4, you're going to interpret the value of Q3. So that's not saying what is Q3. Here's a hint. Q3 is one of the numbers up here. So Q3 should be something you found. So down here, we're interpreting it. Now, how to interpret a quartile is in the notes. That was in section 3.4 because a quartile is a percentile. It's just a special percentile. So we have the script for interpreting percentiles right here, right? And all a quartile is one of those percentiles. It's the 75th percentile for the Q3. I have 3 examples right here where it shows you how to interpret the 3rd percentile, the 63rd percentile, and so on, or sorry, 84th percentile, and so on. And then I have 2 more examples here on the next page with the president's ogive. And then I actually interpreted a Q3 right here at the bottom of this page. So that should be where you look to help yourself. But notice you're going to have to understand your context. So if you don't understand your context, you need to pick a different data set. You have to know what you're looking at. So for my particular case, it would be 75% of at bats, because that's what AB stands for, are and then I would fill that out. Okay, so you have to understand the context of your particular document, right? So I know that Q3 will be one of the numbers I find. So I'll be able to interpret that as I go. So you have to be able to know what it is. And if you don't know what it is, pick one that you do know what it is, like R stands for runs, or go pick a different data set, something that you'll understand what everything is. Okay, so that'll be how you get your context in. Now, construct a horizontal box plot of your data. So hint, check the box for draw boxes horizontally. All right, so I'm going to do or create a box plot for this at bats. So graph, I'm just letting my mouse hover, and then I go down to box plot, which is the 6th one down there, and I'm going to click on it. And then I'll go grab the column, which is the AB column. And down here, you want to make sure to click this button where you draw your boxes horizontally, right there. So you click on that button and then say compute. And there you have a box plot. You can make it wider or narrower if you want to, you know, if you want to make it pretty. Options, copy. Just like we have for every graph, it creates this image. You right click on the image and copy the image, and you go in here and you paste the image. Or you can download the image. That's the other way to do it. Options, download, and then back in here you would insert an image from the computer and you would upload it from your downloads folder. So whichever way you like to do it, you have your box plot. I don't know why I had so much space in there, but that's all right, I got rid of it. Okay, so judging from the box plot, do your data have any outliers? Now this is not a hard explanation. Outliers are something we learned about in box plots in the notes. So in here, on this particular page, we had a box plot that had some outliers, right? So how can you tell they're outliers? That's up above, right? In this gray box, it tells you what to look for outliers. So that's it. So you're just saying, yes, I have outliers. This is how I can tell. Or no, I don't have any outliers and this is how I can tell, right? So it's just judging it from the graph. You're not finding the outliers themselves. You're not actually looking for the fences, the official formulas for fences and all that stuff. You're not doing that, right? So don't worry about the fences. That's out. It's literally just look at the graph. For example, this graph has outliers. How do I know? Right? How can you tell? So that's all you're doing for that problem. Oh, I should have left the binder over there because we're going to need it again. Judging from the box plot what appears to be the shape. All right, so that's the next page in the notes. So we went over shapes here. So skewed right would have a larger whisker on the right or a larger box or both, right? Symmetric is pretty even, mostly equal, left and right. And skewed left would have a larger whisker on the left or a larger box on the left. And you kind of look for the more drastic difference if you have to make a judgment call, which I actually do in my particular example. So if we look at our box plot here, so if I look, this left-sided box is so much bigger than this right side of the box. And that's a really drastic difference. So even though the right whisker is longer, it's not as drastic a difference comparing right whisker to left whisker as it is comparing left box to right box. So I would say this is skewed left because that box on the left is huge compared to the box piece on the right. And that's what you would explain here. So you would say, skewed left because, and you would explain your reasoning, explain what you're thinking. So even though the whisker is bigger on the right, that box is huge compared to the box on the left, so it seems like it's skewed left, blah, 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 blah. Right? For most of you, it probably won't be a difficult decision to make. Don't forget, however, that outliers count as part of their whisker. That's one mistake a lot of students make. The outlier dots count as part of their whiskers. So, for example, this whole thing is the whiskers, so don't forget that. They count together to make the whisker for judging whether it's skewed. Now, judging from your answer above, what are the best measures of center or spread? Okay, so that's on this page in your notes. So if it's skewed left, you would choose down here the median and the IQR, and there's why. If it's symmetric, right, which is this one, then you would choose the mean and the standard deviation, right? And you can explain why. This isn't really a good explanation. It's more because it's symmetric. And then skewed right is median and IQR again. So it's got it right here in this box on this page, which is the last page of your notes for section, or excuse me, for chapter 3. So I'm just going to write C box on last page of chapter 3. Right, there's my hint to you for how to figure that out. Don't forget to explain. Right? Don't just say median and IQR. Say why. Right? Or don't just say mean and standard deviation. Explain. All right, and that point you're done. So you'll click Share. Change the general access so that it's anyone with the link. So click on the restricted and make it so anyone with the link is a viewer. Then copy the link. Then go to the assignment. Let me change my viewing as a student. Then you click on the web URL because you're going to submit a website, and you Control V. You paste that web URL in, and you click Submit. The other option is to click Upload and upload a file. So if you save it as a PDF, then you can upload the file. That also works. So either way you want to do it, web URL or PDF document, it should work. And then you click Submit. Ha! Confetti! I know I did it. So I am done with that assignment, and life is grand. And we're all set.